Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're doing a Let's Play and early impressions for Squirrel Day VR, a game that was released 2 days ago, February 20th, 2024, on the Steam store in early access, although it's mostly complete. So, unlike a lot of early access games, this one is nearly complete. It's like 95% there, I would say. It normally retails for $14.99. I received a free Steam key through the Steam Creator Connect program to review this game, and I'm testing it out on the Meta Quest 3 using Link Cable. Now, this is a pretty good summary of the game. You use your paws to crawl and jump. Pushing any surface will propel you in the opposite direction. Use index finger triggers to grab surfaces. Use grip triggers to point and interact with watch buttons. These are the watch buttons here. Okay. Pointer on watch points to nearest nut. And there you see how much you need to collect and all that. Collect nuts around the yard and in trees. If you fall over the fence, you will respawn at the last checkpoint. Time begins when first nut is collected. Time is safe when all nuts are collected. Jump into a pipe to start that level. So that pretty much explains the game. Let's go ahead and let's play it so you can see for yourself. So this is obviously the last checkpoint here. We're just starting. You do have snap turning available. And let's change the degree. It's 45. So I'm glad that happened. Did you guys see that? That was a bug. I'm glad that happened because I've had that bug happen to me where all of a sudden you just shoot out of the place. That's a bug, and I'm glad that happened because it lets me show you the bug. I've had that happen a few times already. So again, this game is in early access. I don't know. Do you want to call it a major bug? I guess it is a major bug, right? Yeah, I would say it's a major bug. But it's not a game-breaking bug. And what am I doing? I need to press trigger. Sorry, that was my fault there. I forgot to press decline. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go across here. I don't know if there's a faster way to do it. I wish there was like a button to just go back to the original starting point or go back to the last checkpoint. As you can see, there's a dog there. I don't think the dog does anything. Hello, Mr. Dog. I'm glad we got here. You go right through the dog. Okay. Okay, and we're going to go right through the dog. Now, the visuals, I think, look nice for this type of game. Usually, these type of games don't look very good. This one has nice visual. Not the best textures, though. As you can see, some of these textures are not that great. And I think here's how we go back. So this is how we got back to the last checkpoint. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're now back to where we were. And let's go ahead and let's just start the game. So this is, I don't know, should we call this guerrilla style movement? Guerrilla tag style movement? I guess so, right? So there we go. And you can go as slow as you want, obviously. At this point, we're really not competing against anything, only our own time. So to start off with, it's pretty simple. Like, you're not really competing against anybody or... Ooh, okay. We faced the bug already more than once. Yeah, I would say that's something that needs to be fixed by the developer. I would say that's pretty major. Let's go ahead and let's just climb. So like I said, you can climb. Because of the physics, though, you can't always climb as fast as you want. I don't know if you noticed that, but you can always, like, you see how you can, like, bounce off the object if you don't grab onto it, right? So sometimes you want to go like this so you can go faster, right? But sometimes doing that leads to you bouncing off the surface versus actually getting on it, if that makes sense. And as you can see, there is a day-night cycle, and we're losing light, so we better hurry up. You can turn while you're grabbing onto objects, obviously. There we go. We finally got another acorn or another nut. They look like acorns to me, right? They're acorns, right? Some kind of nut. And obviously, this is most of the game here. You just climb, grab, push, jump across the different. Like here, we can try to make this. Let's see if we can make this simple little jump. Let's see. Can we make this jump? That was a simple jump, so we made it. And obviously, you can try to go. You can go to try to go faster. And obviously, if you just cross a checkpoint, you can be more brave and take bigger chances because you're just going back to the checkpoint. Like there we go. We got a checkpoint. But if I was to compare this game to other platforming games, I think the best platforming game right now, and tell me in the comments if you agree with this, but my opinion, I think it's No More Rainbows. Tell me, do you guys agree with that? No More Rainbows being the best platformer out there? It was for me, but obviously that's just an opinion. There's other good ones. Stride, I think is a good one, but Stride is more like a park. I think sometimes we have to distinguish between climbing games and parkour, and sometimes there's not much difference between the two, but sometimes there are enough differences that it's kind of difficult to compare them both when they're very different, but at the same time also very similar. And obviously you can keep going this way. So what I want to do is I want to get on the trampoline. So we're going to climb it, and I'm going to show you how it works. It's already getting pretty dark, and I don't want it to get too dark. So we're going to go to another world. We're not going to collect all the nuts because I don't want to make this a very long video. But I do want to show the different toys. I would say the trampoline is probably the funnest toy, but I wish the physics were better. And I'm going to tell you why. So we're about to get on the trampoline, and you're going to immediately see what the problem is. So that's the problem with the trampoline, is that it almost doesn't matter where you're jumping from. You're always going to go, like, too big of a jump. And it's just very difficult to control. Let's do that again. Maybe this time it'll be better, but I usually actually jump higher than that. I was surprised that one didn't go as high as it normally does. But yeah, I think the physics here could be better. Yeah, don't. Yeah, this time he really went all out on this one. Okay, let's and I'm gonna have a suggestion for the developer how to make this game better. I think there's one thing, besides getting rid of the bugs, how to make this game better, and that's to make it a flying squirrel game. What do you guys think about that? A flying squirrel? I personally think that's a lot better than. I think that might be like a permanent upgrade. This game could use a tutorial as well, but I think a flying squirrel would make this game better because you'd have more amazing jumps than what you currently have. Like right now, it's too much like Gorilla Tag, but it's just not as good, And there's a lot of games with Gorilla Tag style movement, and this just wouldn't be in the top tier of those type of games. So I think it needs to differentiate itself in some way. Obviously, if it can improve the game mechanics, that'd be awesome. But I think a more realistic goal is just to differentiate itself by actually being like a flying squirrel, where you like glide through the air pretty easily, so you can jump very big distances. So you can spread your arms like this, and you just jump. You glide through the air. You can control it, or maybe even have like a little jetpack. Be like a little jetpack squirrel. Something to make it. And the jetpack doesn't have to always be on. It could just be like a little way to control yourself in the air. But for me right now, it has the Gorilla Tag style movement, but quite frankly, other games do it better. Even though the one thing that separates this game from these other types of games if the visuals here are just more realistic. I'm not gonna say the artwork is better though, because No More Rainbows doesn't look this good. It's this realistic of graphics. Even though look here the textures aren't exactly great, but it looks more realistic. But I would say the artwork in No More Rainbows makes it more pleasant to look at. So, like I've always said before, it doesn't matter, what resolution you are or how realistic the graphics are. Uh, Sometimes just having better artwork is what makes the game more pleasant to explore and to look at. So, that's my opinion, obviously. Maybe you don't agree with that, but I just don't think here that the visuals, even though they're more realistic than probably any other platforming game out there, it just doesn't look all that great. Just again, let me know in the comments if you agree with that take or not. But yeah, I would say Stride, No More Rainbows are just better overall. And even old games, like I don't know if you remember like Climbing, old PC VR games back in the day. Even those I think were more fun as far as platforming or climbing. This unfortunately this just comes out pretty weak. And the gameplay is just too simple. I mean, obviously, I will admit, this is early impressions, so keep that in mind. I haven't gotten very far in the game. I think there's 20 total levels, if I'm not mistaken. I've only been to 3, so keep that in mind. I don't want to go in there. I definitely don't want to go in there because I see a little yellow thing over there, and I definitely want to get that before I do anything else. There we go. I'm going to get on this one. I don't know what the difference is, but I'm going to get on this pipe. So you get your nuts and then you lay down the pipe in this game. Okay, there we go. Okay. So yeah, Squirrel Day. Something else that might improve this game if there was like more role playing as a squirrel. Have more squirrel-like activities in the game. Because although you have your squirrel paws and you're climbing and you're jumping and you're getting nuts, it doesn't really feel like I don't really see the reason for calling it Squirrel Day. Now, if you had what I was suggesting as far as making it a flying squirrel game where you're gliding across for some of the platforming sections, then yeah, you would feel more like a squirrel. It would make more sense. But the way it's set up now, I mean, it's hard to think that you're actually role-playing or you're simulating a squirrel, or you're not really doing any squirrel activities. Can't even really munch on the nuts, And I don't know what else squirrels do, but you just don't really feel like a squirrel. At least I don't. Sad to say. Is this a bad game? No. If you're looking for a casual platformer with Gorilla Tag style movement, but just more on the casual side, without the difficulty, I would say this is the game for you. Although I will say, per the developer, once you collect all the nuts in a level, you'll be able to unlock the red and blue squirrels, which will have a more difficult level. So keep that in mind. That's some. Uh-oh, crap! I jumped too far. Let's get on the trampoline and see if we can do anything about it. But I think I'm close to calling it quits because I really haven't seen that much progression. The levels are different. There's different little things to each map, but the gameplay really hasn't evolved. Now, the developer says there's like different seasons, and that's going to add a difficulty. So I would imagine snow and all that might make for more of a challenge, but again, I would say no More Rainbows does that better. At least early on. Oh, crap. It is running at a steady 72 frames per second. And like I said, you do have snap turning available. And obviously you're using the Gorilla Tag style movement, which a lot of games do these days. And while it does look nice, the gameplay is where this game just doesn't really meet the standards I'm not going to give a negative review because I think there's merit to this. It's not a bad game. I don't think it's a bad game, but I think it's just when you play the top tier platforming games in VR or the top tier climbing games. What's that one on PC VR that I've just not? Was it Adam's Gauntlet? What's the name of that game? If anyone in the comments knows which game I'm talking about, but it's probably the best parkour looking game. I said this one's pretty good, but it's not the best. There's another one that looks super good. I think it's called Adam's Gauntlet, but it's probably wrong. It's probably not the name, but something like that. If anybody in the comments can let me know what game I'm thinking about, but it's like a obstacle course. That's probably the best one in PC VR. Wait, is No More Rainbows on PC VR? I think it is. For me, it would be between those two games as far as the best in PC VR. But unfortunately, this game just doesn't come close to those or Stride. Maybe Climby, but maybe I had more fun with Climby back in the day. You know, that's old school VR climbing. Unfortunately, there's just not enough fun stuff to do. Like, it needs more variety for sure. More variety in the gameplay. More reason to play this. Because to me, you're just repeating the same thing over and over again, but just in different maps. But, you know, it needs some progression in gameplay. And I know the developer said there's like different seasons, and I imagine winter might make some things slippery. But that wouldn't be enough of a change up, in my opinion. It needs more. Like, I really think you need to be a flying squirrel where you're gliding like this across these distances. I think that would make it much better. And just more challenge, you know. Remember, the whole thing about platforming is that you have to levels like an obstacle course, you know, give people a reason to want to run it. And right now, I'm just not really seeing the reason. So if I have to rate this game, I'd give it a 5.5 out of 10. It just, you know, there's things I like about it, but unfortunately, it falls apart the thing that probably matters the most in this type of game, and that's in the actual gameplay, the core gameplay loop. And unfortunately, I think that's where this game falls apart in the most important aspect of a game, which is the core gameplay loop. And I think that's where this game just doesn't deliver. At least it doesn't deliver early on. Again, this is early impressions. This is also an early access game. So I don't want to knock it down too hard. But also, as you guys know, I don't hold back when a game is bad. I call it bad. I'm not afraid to upset a developer if it's warranted. In this case, I think there's enough here that I'm not going to give it a negative review, but unfortunately, I have to say there's not enough here that I can give it anything more than a 5.5 out of 10, which is not a good score for me. And I would say this is just completely mediocre as far as hardcore games go. It doesn't stand out from the crowd. There's much better ones. Even more than the ones I've named. There's more fun parkour, obstacle course, climbing, platforming games, whatever you want to call them. And this would be not at the top and pretty much in the bottom 50%, somewhere there. So that's why I'm giving it a 5.5 out of 10. It just needs a better gameplay. It needs more variety. It needs more of a reason to want you to continue playing. Obviously, you do get a good workout because you're doing a lot of climbing and all that. So there's that. And it does, like I said, it does look nice. Not the best looking game, but it does look nice. It doesn't look terrible. But that's just not enough. You know, you need more reason to play. I'm not a big Gorilla Tag fan, but even I would rather play Gorilla Tag than this one. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. This has been my Let's Play. Very early impressions for Squirrel Day. Again, it's in early access. I hope the developer takes my criticism to heart and is able to improve the game. You know, just make the parkour more fun and challenging. You know, it doesn't have to be super hard, but it does have to be challenging enough. And the courses, the parkour, the obstacle course, whatever you want to call it, they need to be more interesting to race across. You know, to give you a reason to want to do all this climbing. just having squirrel paws is not enough, and just having nice maps is not enough. You know, you need to give people a reason to want to run these courses, especially if they're going to start sweating like I am already. Because, well, but I'm out of shape. Keep that in mind. Anyways, like I said, I'm Fast Lawyer. Hope you found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.